Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashoda Nandana Vracha Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vracha Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vracha Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vracha Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And suddenly you are in the Bhakti Shastri class. Yes. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. My respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like desired trees, capable of fulfilling desires of everyone, and who are oceans of mercy for all the conditioned souls. Yasya prasadadagyopi sadhya sarvagyatam vrajet Shri Chaitanya devame bhagavan samprasidatu. May Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Be merciful unto me, by his grace a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The life of bhakti or devotional service is association. What gives life to devotional service? Life of devotional service is exchanges, loving exchanges between the devotees. Prabhupada says that our society has been established to facilitate these six loving exchanges. What are the six loving exchanges between the devotees?
Serving prasadam, accepting prasadam,
Mm-hmm. Offering gifts, accepting gifts. Yeah, so speaking and asking about confidential topics, yes. And then Srila Prabhupada says to engage intelligently in these exchanges, we have verse 5, describing different levels of advancement. And then verse 6 discusses this same or similar respect, but not externally this time, but the vision of the heart, this respect internally. How we respectfully see the other devotees. Drishtaih sabhavajanitari vapushascha dosher na prakritato miha bhakta janasya pashyet. So drishtai na pashyet. One should not look at the other devotees externally. Prakritatum. One should not look at the material faults that could be present in the body or in even sometimes in the character for some time. Yeah. And again, Banu Maharaj, when he was giving his seminar on the Upadeshamrita, he pointed out that the nectar of the holy name is discussed only in the next verse. So therefore, it's probably an indication that to get to the nectar, we need to first learn how to deal with other devotees, right? That this nectar, this is Akshaya Kumbha, the infinite. I just invented this name. I'm sorry. This infinite jug of nectar of the holy name is discussed only in verse 7. After this respectful, loving vision of different devotees is discussed, and after the loving exchanges, and after external respect is discussed. So only then we have verse 7. We can read verse 7 because it speaks about sweet candy, about sweets. Is there anybody who hates sweets? Huh? You hate sweets, or I mean, like I know not all people like sweets. My father doesn't like sweets so much. I know, at least he says so. I don't know.
I love sweets.
Okay, so then you will like also this verse. Okay, let's see how many people have the book. Okay, verse 7. Syat Krishna nama charitadi sitapya vidya pito pataptarasikas narochikano kintuadarat anudinam kalusaiva jushta swadvikramat bhavati tadgadamulahantri. And then who has the English? Let us read the translation together. The holy name character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So the nectar is discussed, although the nectar doesn't come suddenly and immediately. So we know that it may take some time to feel the full nectar. We get some glimpses in the beginning of the sweetness, but even when we get the glimpses, I think I told you how I like chanting. I did like chanting, but still when I tried to chant 64 rounds, it was really tough. So we read often that the holy name is so sweet, but sometimes our experience that it's like nectar, like the sweetest, the most amazing thing in the world. But sometimes our experience is that chanting the holy name may be like chewing sand or sawdust in the morning, you know. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And if you feel, you know, what's sawdust? Zege, how do you say it? Zege? Spinak. Mel. Zege? Spor. Okay, who else is from a different region? Which other names do you know? So, apilki, huh? It tastes not very tasty, but that's also a very good sign. If it's tasteless on your tongue, it means at least you pay attention what is on your tongue, right? Because we all know there is another type of japa, you know, like, and then it doesn't even taste like sawdust. It's like some soft background murmur. Anyway, any chanting is better than no chanting. You know, there is no nothing worse in chanting than not chanting at all, right? Not offering our respect to the chanting. So therefore this verse describes that, yeah, this phenomenon exists. It's like jaundice. So jaundice means, you know, everybody knows what's jaundice, right? Gelbsucht, yeah. Gelbsucht, you get yellow eyes oftentimes. Yeah, yellow eye. Most of the time you get yellow eyes. So this is the jaundice of avidya, of ignorance. Jaundice of ignorance. So there are some kinds of jaundice where you do not taste sweet taste. You do not taste sugar. Anybody had such jaundice that you didn't taste sweet? I understand this is it's called hepatitis E. It's a very exotic tropical hepatitis. We had one devotee, Krishna Balaram, maybe somebody know, he was a secretary of Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. He came from India and then he tested and he had jaundice, hepatitis E. And so all the professors from the university came to look at him because, you know, it was very exotic that somebody has such a rare type of jaundice. So with this, you may the sweet may taste tasteless or even bitter. So it's sweet, but then also in the BBT, I had a friend who is editing, who is a proofreader of all the Prabhupada's books in the Russian language since probably 30 years. Now he's a Swedish citizen, and I hear he's a policeman now. But he still proofreads. He still proofreads all the books. So he told me when he was in the Soviet army back, you know, so many years ago, they were somewhere in Central Asia. So it was like very neglected. Everything was very neglected. So he got jaundice, heavy jaundice. So what cure did he get? They gave him like a glass jar of sugar, mixed this in water, and they said, you drink it, that's your cure. It's like very basic, you know, like, because liver is nourished by glucose or by this, what do you call them, some kind of sugars. So therefore, it's sort of a nourishment for the liver. So it helps to overcome, to get strength to overcome the disease. Anybody is a doctor here? Anybody studied? How do you? So, yeah. Okay. So you you please correct me if you have some nice comment about it. So that was the cure, and this is the classic. It's the classic example here that sometimes you it takes something sweet and it tastes horrible, but this same thing is the medicine, and then you eat and after some time you discover, oh, actually it's not horrible, it's sweet. So a very, very interesting poetic example of chanting the holy name. That sometimes it's bitter, but then if you get cured, and you have three points here how it is cured. By how do we chant? How are we are supposed to chant that it gets cured? Anybody noticed in this verse how it gets cured? Can you find in this verse what are the how attentively? Yes, attentively. Where is this? Or in the translation it says carefully, carefully. What is what? Sanskrit. Sanskrit is even more interesting. It says adarat. So adarat means with respect. So respectfully. And respect is the one-step cure for all the offenses. So what's an offense? Offense is the absence of respect. Right? Basically, it means neglectful. You neglect. That's the idea of offense. So therefore, if you want to have panacea, like, the cure-all, the medicine that cures all the offenses, that's respect. So if you have respect, adarat, then it's sort of the antidote. It's the cure for all the offenses here. So carefully. Srila Prabhupada translates carefully or adarat or with respect, with care. Something else you find in this verse that describes how to chant? Every day, yes. Anudinam. So systematically. We systematically chant every day. Okay. Anything else you can find? It destroys the disease to the root. Okay, so we have also the disease of ignorance, and this is why bhakti is so powerful, that it can remove the root of all karma, because we know that karma is rooted in avidya, in ignorance. First is, these are the 5 kleshas. First is avidya, ignorance. Then it creates asmita, false ego. This creates raga, attachment. This creates dvesha, hatred or envy. And this altogether creates abhinivesha, a big network of attachments and fear to lose something, fear of change. So bhakti is declared to be the best method because it goes to the root of ignorance, because what is our ignorance? We prefer to be ignorant of the fact that I am Krishna's servant. Dasoham, that I am Krishna. Dasoham, I am a servant of Krishna. So that is immediately removes the mentality, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. If I understand, okay, no, I'm not the enjoyer. I'm not the sufferer. It has 2 parts. I'm the enjoyer, I'm the sufferer. Or I am the controller, or I'm the victim. I have to be controlled, right? It's the other side of the coin. No, I'm Krishna Das. Krishna Dasam. So that's why bhakti is so powerful, because it goes to the root. At least from the very first day, you hear the truth. You are not the supreme controller. You are not the supreme enjoyer. You're also not the supreme sufferer. You are Krishna Das. You are serving. Any questions here? Any points? Anybody has any suffering in your life still? Attentive then daily, and it removes ignorance. So therefore, yes, thank you for, yeah, that's a very attentive. Bhaktivinoda Thakur connects faith with knowledge of Sambandha Gyan with surrender. So therefore, if we, also Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Harinam Chintamani that if you chant with Sambandha Gyan, then very quickly you attain success in chanting. Very quickly get success in chanting. So that's why if we understand that if I chant as Krishna Das, Krishna Dasi, Das Das Anudas, servant of the servant, then it, as the spirit soul that is the servant of Krishna, that will help us to remove the ignorance covering the soul. Also Jushta, trying to find the taste, to appreciate the holy name. Sambandha Gyan, connection. In Sanatan Shiksha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a nice story. He says that once there was a poor, miserable man who came to the astrologer named Sarvagya. Sarvagya means all-knowing. And he came to the astrologer and said, "Sir, I'm suffering a lot. What can I do? What's my future?" And the astrologer looked at his chart and he said, "It's very strange that you are suffering, because you had a father who was so wealthy that you should be completely free from all misery. You should not be poor, you should not have any suffering. So he earned a lot of wealth in some other places, and then he hid at your home. So really, where is it?" He said, "Oh, that's a big question. Like, if you hear that you have some treasure at home, it's not enough to know it's there. You also need to know where. This is when we discuss the maps, you have to know how deep to dig, little to the left, little to the right. That's an important detail." So then the astrologer, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, astrologer explains, well, do not search on the north, because in the north there is a huge snake which will swallow you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that this is the method of mystic yoga, where we become swallowed by the desire for mystic powers, mystic perfections, control, and maybe merging with God or with the Brahman effulgence. So we can be swallowed and not find the true treasure. He said, do not dig, do not search in the west, because in the west there is a big nest of wasps. Do you see wasps here? Of course, in Himachalam, wasps are very pious. Sometimes you go to the I don't know, maybe not, I don't know if to everybody. Do they bite sometimes? Anybody got bitten by a wasp here? I see them, they sometimes come and they stand here like zzz, and they look at you. Like zzz, no, okay, they go. Did you see it? Yeah. It comes, no, not a flower, okay. Looks like flower, but not. But if there is a nest of wasps, then if you disturb the nest, they may attack. Right? They may attack, and then it can be deadly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that the West is like the process of mental speculation, jnana yoga. You always who was into philosophy, like before Krishna consciousness, searching for different philosophical explanations? Yeah. Any comments on your philosophical search? Any impressions from that? Obviously, it helped you, but anything that you remember from that? Yes, Svalgopal.
Most of it was with an impersonal conclusion that God is impersonal.
God is impersonal. But also, the first canto says it's like to be steady, you have to keep searching for new and new speculation. Because, you know, yesterday's speculation is good yesterday, today it's no longer good. You have to find a new speculation to get new wind into your sails. New impetus. I remember in the school I read the big philosophical dictionary, and my conclusion was that every philosophy is right. We just have to find how to combine it. So you know, if it's explained, that everybody can explain something that sounds correct. So therefore he says, do not dig in the West, because you will be bitten by so many wasps who are like different speculations. Maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that, maybe it's like this. And basically also you will not be able to reach the treasure, the true treasure. It says, do not search in the south. That was the ghost, right? The ghost, the wasps were in the south. The west was the ghost, right? The ghost. Huh? No, karma is the south. The too many rules. Too many rules. There is one book in for the wasp. How is it called? How's it called? Hindu Sadachar. Anyway, it has several volumes, and it lists 2 million rules for following, like Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says, we have my brother Sanatana Goswami, he compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas, which contains several millions of rules. It's for the grihastas, for the family people, how to perform every ritual in a very precise manner. So yeah, you follow this rule, you break that rule. You follow this and that, you break this rule. You follow this and that, you break another rule. So, and they're all important. Yeah, but the West was ghost. You become like mad, attacked by ghosts, trying to become God also. Okay, so do not dig in the north, the snake will swallow. Do not dig in the west, the ghost will attack you, become mad, trying to be God. You do not dig in the south, the karma kanda, the rituals, because you will be attacked by the many wasps, or compared to the rules. Dig in the east. Dig in the east, which is explained to be the process of bhakti, devotional service. There, you just begin digging and you will find the treasure, infinite treasure of devotional service, bhakti. Because you are a little particle of Krishna, and therefore you are supposed to serve Krishna, so that's the quickest and the best way. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, this is Sambandha Gyan. This is understanding, finding the connection with Krishna and with the process, Sambandha Gyan. So if we chant in Sambandha Gyan, then we will advance quickly, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So understanding, who am I? I'm Krishna Das. Shachidananda Maharaj says, this is a special cure to our many problems. He says that sometimes when he felt some difficulty, he would remember, wait, I am Dasoham, I'm a servant. Right? In other words, when do I have difficulties if I have to control the world? Right? But maybe you have noticed the world is not easy to control, at least for most of us. So therefore, if I get out of the bed in the morning and I think, oh, okay, another day of trying to control the weather, the traffic, the satellites, the wars, the politicians, the news, the neighbors, the sounds, the bird. Sorry for translators. This is horrible. Yeah, the lists are horrible. Sorry. Yeah, the weather. Just create your own list. You know what you want to control. Something. So many things we try to control. and then immediately you feel, oh my God, it's hopeless. I should just go back to bed. It's too heavy. But if I remember, wait a minute, I'm not the controller, I'm a servant. I'm Krishna's servant. I just need to serve. I will try to control what I can for Krishna, but in fact, I'm a servant. So I will serve. That's my position. I will serve. And then if I serve, I'm a servant. And, oh, okay. Then I can serve through the day in the best way. So this is bhakti, and this is the cure. This is Sambandha Gyan. You try also to solve your difficulties with this medicine of knowledge, dasoham, or I'm Krishna's servant, loving servant. You can see that oftentimes it helps you remove so many mental problems and difficulties. I'm a servant. I'm a servant of a servant. And serve, you can always serve one way or the other. Right? There's so much service in this world, especially in this world, especially at this time. I sometimes say that this is the most interesting time in history. Sometimes we think, oh, it would be so nice to be with Krishna. Do you think that it would be nice to be 5,000 years ago when Krishna was herding cows? That's nice. I do not say it's not nice. Yes, it's nice. Do you sometimes think it would be nice to be born in the neighbor village with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and come for his kirtan? Yeah. This is nice. But imagine how much more interesting is to help Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his big kirtan. Now, because that time we could maybe do kirtan in Navadvip where everybody already is a devotee. And here on Saturday we can go to Passau and sing in Passau where not so many people are devotees. And we can sing there. And then people will hear, oh, what is this? What is this? Like Gaur Mohan Prabhu's wife said she heard the kirtan, and then she thought, oh, what is this? And she asked for the book, and now she's here. So it's the first date of the soul and Krishna. You're arranging the date between the jiva soul and Krishna. Such a romantic, exciting moment. And you're passing notes between Krishna and, Krishna has big notes, he's a prolific writer. He has written many, many love letters to you. So we can help him pass the love letters to the jiva souls. And it's exciting. You can be part of that very exciting lila. And there is a big need. The soul need this, and Krishna appreciates also that you're helping. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that people who want to serve Krishna at Radhakund are shallow, milky. They're not deep. He says deep people. It's a little. This quote? It's a little shocking. He says deep devotees. They want to serve Krishna at the Kurukshetra field. That's not the battlefield. It's not the battlefield. I mean, battlefield was there at Kurukshetra, but before the battlefield, you had, what happened there? Yes, the first Ratha Yatra. And all the Vrindavan gopis came to the sun eclipse, Surya Grahan, and they met Krishna, and they were pulling the chariot back to Vrindavan. That's the first Ratha Yatra. So at that moment, Radharani needs every little bit of help. So if you go and serve Radharani there, helping to pull Krishna back to Vrindavan, she's so grateful to you. Right? She really needs help. In Vrindavan, everything is good. She doesn't need so much help. It's clean, nice, sweet, everything is good. But if you help her when she needs help, she will be so grateful to you. She'll give you so many blessings. So he says that's the deepest idea to serve. So here, this is the situation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to give mercy, Krishna wants to give mercy, Srila Prabhupada wants to give mercy, and you can help carry the mercy. Become the dealer. The authorized dealer. Mercy dealer, yes. Join the authorized network of, become the authorized, like there is, Toyota dealers or Samsung dealer, whatever, I don't know how they called. Different dealers, so you can distribute the mercy. So yes, this is very special. We can help people join Krishna, do Harinam with the proper understanding as servants, Krishna Das, and help people understand what is a service, devotional service. Some questions here? Some points? Yes.
You talked about this Sambandagya that helps with chanting to identify oneself as a servant. And we often hear that attentive chanting is most important. Maybe you can give some other advice how to really bring back the mind to the chanting of the holy name?
Yeah, there is hundreds of different ways to different advices, pieces of advice. This will move us to our next topic of the Bhakti formula. So in verse 6, Prabhupada begins by saying that 6, we have read 7, Jai Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev. We've read verse 7 about the nectar of the holy name, but verse 6 spoke about the gateway to this nectar. So the gateway was, what was the gateway? The, what do you call it, Shranke? Tor? The gateway to...
Not identifying the body.
That was even before, that was the beginning. And then you move, and there is a toll booth, or the here, right? If you don't see, this is the Schlagbaum. It's very funny. In Ukrainian, we call this Schlagbaum, which sounds like a German word, but Germans don't use this word. Schlagbaum. In Austria, they use Schlagbaum? They say Schlagbaum?
We use Schlagsahne here in Germany.
Schlagsahne is there. All German, yeah, okay. Yeah. Schrenke, they say now. Oh. Oh, you can say Schlagbaum. Okay, yes. So here we have this Schlagbaum or the barrier. Huh? Hard? Well, hard. It's very hard to find heart to, in our heart, do what?
Don't see pure devotees with a material vision.
Do not see with the material vision. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says pure devotees. And he speaks about the definition of pure devotion. What's a pure devotion? So before we can define pure devotion, we have to define devotion. So you probably know the important verse quoted by Srila Prabhupada in text 3 in the beginning, a classic definition of pure bhakti. Yes? So this is 1.1.11. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. So dear scholars, let's chant. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. So this is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. Some devotees say that this is the verse of all the Vedic literature. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. So it has 5 elements. There are 5 elements. Out of these 5 elements, 3 are called Svarupa Lakshanas, meaning they are the core definition. So the core means that it's like the heart. Yes? So that's why I put the hearts here. So can you see the verse, right? So what are the 3 main parts of this formula? 3 Svarupa Lakshanas? A good idea, a good answer, but a wrong question.
Wrong
Also a good answer, but also the wrong question. Okay, we have 3 more left out of the 5. Which are the 3 hearts, 3 heart core elements of
Bhakti.
that's what we define. So this is the definition of Bhakti. This is the Bhakti formula. Okay, less and less words are left. Your chances are growing. Anukulyena, okay. Krishna, yes, favorably. Yes, we didn't give the translation. Everybody knows the Sanskrit, right?
No.
So, Anya Abhilashita, having no other permanent desires, not putting trust in other processes. I'm giving slightly, yes, no, but yes, no other permanent desires, free from other permanent desires. It's a subtle, important point. Each point, I mean, you can give, all the Vedic literature is a comment on this. Many seminars. Then other processes, basically, this is about other goals and other processes. And the 3 core characteristics are there. The easiest, what we see externally, and nobody named this. This is the last word not named yet. Huh? It was half named. No, named. Anushilana. Thank you, Anushilana. So Anushilana means, Anu was named, but yes. So Anushilana means systematic practice. Anu means systematic or daily. Shilana, Prabhupada says it's activity. So these are, Prabhupada says, the 9 or the 64 processes. The 9 processes. And this is externally visible, and this is what we find first, okay? And this is Srila Prabhupada's genius. He says, come and chant Hare Krishna. Take the beads and chant. Or come, raise your arms. Let's actually raise our arms. Let's all stand up, inhale, breathe. No, let's also inhale and raise our arms and say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. So this is the genius of Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara. They make it practical, right? Because some things are so subtle. How will you do this? But just chant Hare Krishna, okay. Just coming to the temple, Every step you made today, in the Shastra it's declared it's like Ashwamedha Yagya, the biggest sacrifice. And if you came in the car, it's probably quadruple, because you have 4 wheels. Right? So that's moving to the temple. So much benefit, so much bhakti sukriti, so much punya in it. So much blessings, so many blessings. And that's Prabhupada's genius. He makes it practical, accessible, not difficult to understand. He says 16 rounds, chant 16 rounds on Japamala. But then we also notice, I remember it took me several years before I noticed that this is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. My God, is it? Yeah. It says consciousness here. Not just for moving hands and legs, but also consciousness. I was surprised. Wow, That's interesting. So that's also important, huh? Interesting. So this is the second part. The next part, this is the second element, core element, heart element is, it's not easy to also guess, but you named it, but who can this be here?
Gyan.
How?
You said consciousness, so.
It's more subtle. It's not far, but so. You'll be surprised, but the second element is Krishna. Yes, amazing. Yes, Krishna. And it's understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is actually the Supreme Lord, Actually, he's controlling everything. And he's sweet. And he is in everybody's heart. Shall we do again our exercise from the morning? So this is the instruction in 5.5.26 that at every step we do this meditation, meditating that Krishna is Krishna is sheltered in every moving and non-moving living entity, as in the temple. We have the temple, but also repeatedly we have this instruction like 6.1.13, 5.5.26 to practice this meditation, Sambhavita Vyani, that every living entity is Krishna's temple. So somewhere here, somewhere not. So can you please look at every person here and meditate. Okay, she's Krishna's temple, she's Krishna's temple. Madhav Prabhu, you're Krishna's temple. You Prabhu are Krishna's temple, you are Krishna's temple, you're 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 Krishna's temple. Also, you're the temple, you're the temple. You're also the temple. Okay, so look at everybody. Look at the smiles. What happened? It works. Yeah, it sort of elevates our consciousness. So in the first chapter, or in the introduction where Prabhupada translates this, Krishna says that Krishna means Krishna and his expansions, like Nrsimhadev, Ramachandra, Varahadev, Vamanadev, so all the expansions. So Krishna means Krishna and his avatars and expansions and his devotees. So this is Krishna and his expansions and his devotees and his energies. He says basically Krishna encompasses everything. But we also remember that he is same but different. He is the Supreme Person. So with this proper understanding, if we have this consciousness, we will be able to also be more respectful in our dealings. We will be more Krishna conscious, because otherwise we will feel very cold outside, like, okay, here we are in the temple, and it is the shelter for the heart. But then we go outside and we see these people, oh my God, these people are non-devotees, Hare Krishna. Horrible. But no, I mean, Krishna is also in their heart, and every human has some degree of God consciousness. Shockingly enough, you cannot be a human without at least some, a little spark of God consciousness. Prabhupada mentions this in some places. So our task is to find it and fan it, so it grows into bigger fire. Okay, so this is the second element. Now, the third element is the most tricky. So therefore, in chanting, the first is at least chant, and at least attentively. You have a very nice Nama Yantra there, Hare Krishna mantra. You can chant and try to read simultaneously. That was the method of Gorkishore Das Babaji. Anybody is trying to do this? Chant and read? It's very interesting. A very interesting method. Shachinanda Maharaj sometimes speaks about it. Also, So that's the processes. Just try to bring it back. Then to also remember, this is Krishna. Just trying to bring it back. I remember, it was 1993, winter, in Druskininkai, Lithuania. And you're from Druskininkai? Okay. In Druskin, Bhakti Swarup Chaitanya Maharaj is from Druskininkai. Right? It was Druskin. We had our BBT there. So in the morning, after Mangalarati, I went to my room, turned off the light, closed the door, sat on my seat, and tried to be really attentive. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And the mind goes away. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. The mind tries to go, no, come back. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Really, come back. Oh, sit here. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And 16 rounds. I really caught my mind. Yes. But by the end, I hated the name. I really hated. I caught the mind, but it was horrible. You know, I did some Gestapo to my mind. And I was, sit here, don't move. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So what was missing? One method was there, but there was no consciousness. I didn't remember that this is my sweet Lord. And this is Krishna. He's the source of all the good. He's a person. He's the supreme person. He's the source of this wonderful philosophy that attracted me. So in other words, it was very external, just the external shell without the feeling. The feeling. No feeling and no feeling either. Без наполнения и без сведомости. So this helps, you know, to be conscious. But even more important than that is the next element. What's the next element? Favorable, anukulyena. Yes, anukulyena. This is the trickiest. Anukulyena. It's actually even difficult to translate. Anukulyena. So anukulyena, we usually translate favorably. Favorable devotional service. Oh, yeah, actually, are we supposed to stop? Okay, so most important element, we will not discuss.
How much time you need to finish this?
Just maybe 2 hours. Or, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes we can try to, at least this I think we should cover. 10 minutes? Anukulyena. So this is tricky. This is rather tricky. But it's the most important because you can see it's the one word that's used in a different case. Fale, right? Fale, case is fale. Instrumental. Instrumental. So others are in nominative. You know, this is this. And anukulyena is like with this. Орудный відмінок, творительный падеж, which родник, which other languages do you have? So instrumental. It's not many, not all. Like probably in German it will be mit dem, whatever. It will be dative, right? We use dative. Like if it's with this, or by this. Mit dem. So we use dative, right? Mit dem Gefühl, let's say, right? Correct? So that will be this manukulyena. It shows that this element is the heart of the heart of the heart of bhakti. This element must be there. Also, Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami says that this Anyabhilashta Shunyam and Jnana Karmadhyanavritam is what makes bhakti pure. First we have bhakti, and then we make it pure. Anyabelashta Shunyam, no other permanent desires, and Jnana Karmadya Navritam, no other processes as the shelter. That's to make it pure. These are Tatastha Lakshanas. These are two additional qualities. But primary, they are called also primary. The core three characteristics is this activity, Krishna as the object, understanding Krishna as the object, and Anukulyana, this feeling how to do this. So what is this feeling? It's very simple but very subtle. Very simple but very subtle. Sometimes I remember in Vrindavan, our VHE, the institute, is in the Goshala, and that means cows are there, calves are there. And I remember I once came out. It was summer, so I had no. I only had dhoti, and the upper part was uncovered. So I came out, sit outside, and then one little calf came, like 2 days old. Like balancing on the feet. They start running. Try to run immediately. Anybody touched small calves? Like anybody saw small calves? They are so sweet. Actually, Vatsalya, parental rasa, Vatsa is a calf. Bacha, yeah. So that's the idea. So this is like, you see this sweet, soft, fluffy calf, and you feel Vatsalya, right? So this white calf came, so near me. So of course I embraced the calf, and I started scratching on the neck. It's one of the 3 recommended ways to serve the cows by Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha. So scratching on the neck, and it was so sweet, and it was like I was scratching, caressing, and then the calf, after like 3 minutes, turned around and started licking my shoulder. Yeah, the calf wanted to reciprocate. It's like 2 days old. I caressed the calf on the neck, and the calf thought, I also want to give something. What can I give? Oh, mommy licks me. Okay, I will also lick this guy. Where can I lick? I will lick on the shoulder. I mean, it couldn't lick anywhere else. And what do you think I felt? I felt, loved and touched. Even though I honestly tell you, it's not my favorite thing that somebody. Honestly, never thought of it, before or after. But what was there in the calf? Anukulyana, the desire to do something pleasing. Intention to make you happy, intention to please. So this is the subtle thing that's called Anukulyana. So sometimes we try to make it simple. We call it intention to please. Intention, I don't know what we call Absicht. Or
But then there's translation in English. So what is this?
we have like 4 or 5 different translations in different places. I forgot which canto has the most precise translation. We have favorable. Favorable, which is this is what it means, but not easy to exactly. Even if I say intention to please, it's still difficult to. So this is the intention. Intention to please. To make happy, basically. I was telling Sakyasevak, I had doubts whether I should speak about it. It's like because I spoke about this for like 15 years, that it's like the husband who is working 3 jobs, and he's trying to do everything in the house and bring money and do so many things, and then he programs his Google Calendar. Okay, this is some special day. So it says, boop, 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 boop. Okay, so what is it? Okay, buy flowers. Okay, he goes and he sees the flowers. Okay, so flowers. How much are these? These are, 3 euros. How much are these? These are
10 euros. Okay, how much are these? These are 20 euros. Okay, give me this for 10. You know, like he's not buying the ones for 3, he buys these for 10. So he buys the flowers, come home, and he says, "Darling, congratulations." And she burst into tears, she's crying. Ah! And the guy is totally, like confused. He remembered, he bought not even the ones for 3, but the ones for 10. And she's crying. He says, "Darling, what's wrong?" And then she says, "You don't love me." So, why? Or how? But, what was missing? So some feeling was missing. The external act was there, the memory was there, knowledge was there, but the intention was not aligned. So this is not alone. So there has to be the act. There has to be the understanding or sambandha or the consciousness. But bhakti, in fact, is here. So this is the intention. Why am I doing this? This is the essence. This is the most important sadhana. That I want to soften my heart in bhakti. In bhakti, I want to develop this. We want to develop love, right? And love is here. This is this feeling or intention. So this is what we are hunting for. In every day, everything we do, absolutely everything we do in our day, that's to grow this part. And the others are helping to do it. So, if we add this to our chanting, that I remember, okay, why am I chanting? Okay, he's the person. This is the names. I'm attentive. But then he's a wonderful person, the source of all philosophy. But also, why am I doing this? I want to make him happy. I want to please Krishna. And to find this, that's our task. It may take some time to find that. It's there. Even the calf, even 2-day-old calf knows this. Every living entity has it. I think even the flowers and trees, they have it. Not thing, it's true. Everything has some consciousness. Everything conscious has this. But we want to find it and then grow it. So Krishna, this is for you. Krishna, I want to make you happy. So I will conclude, but as the last exercise, please let us find these 3 elements and chant Krishna for your pleasure. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And now find more that, okay, Krishna, you like it, and I want to offer this to you. I know you like it, and I want to increase your smile, make your smile happier. So for your pleasure, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Was it tasty to chant with this? So also this is the magic of bhakti. As soon as you try to, no other process has it, only bhakti. As soon as you try to offer love to Krishna, he accepts and you get the connection, the yoga. What in other processes takes 20 years to experience some connection, here it may happen within a few seconds or half an hour of kirtan. Krishna, for you, and then Krishna says, oh, for me, okay, here, let me take. And he accepts your offering. So this is another thing. So attention and different ways to be attentive, like read or remind yourself or hear or count attentive mantras, and then the person, and then the intention to add some feeling of bhakti to it. Thank you for asking this, and thank you for, because I wanted to discuss it, and this is important. So who is a pure devotee, we will discuss tomorrow. So these three practices make a devotee, and then two more will make a pure devotee. So tomorrow you know how to chant.
Prabhu, maybe you'd like to mention that tomorrow we have an extra hour at 5.
We will have 1 extra hour. We will probably start at 5 or 5:30. 5:30 or 5:30. 5:30, yes. 5:30. We'll start at 5:30. Mm-hmm. Petritz. Okay, so this is it, and we can discuss the questions privately. But so you're welcome to continue the discussion. But officially, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha.
I have one question
Yes.
regarding to the essay, because for me, I feel like it will be not such, how to say, like knowledge, like